Hey everyone, earlier this week we put up a post asking for your dream festival lineup because we're playing Download in March, and every time you announce any festival, whatever one it is, you always have a million comments below being thankful and also complaining for whoever is on.
Doesn't have all their favourite bands on.
And so we thought it'd be an interesting thing to hear what you guys think. So we've been reading those in the comments, but thought we would let you know what our favourite or dream lineups would be. So we've limited it to 10.
Current bands.
And we've limited it to current bands.
Because
so I had to take off Pink Floyd because that's what Sam said the rules were.
Yeah.
Which sounded fair enough. So you have some limits.
Because musicians in bands I would listen to are probably dead. Anyway.
So, do you want to go first, or you go first, or do you want to alternate?
We'll alternate. We'll
alternate.
All
right.
Mix it up.
So I thought that we should choose an actual headliner. So I thought out of the current headliners going around today in the metal world, as far as best stage or anything like that, probably go with Parkway Drive. Actually, more than seeing Kiss or Metallica or any of the bands that have been around for 400 years and as an Aussie band and put on an amazing show, they always do. And so, this is my choice. So that's my big metal headliner.
My headliner will be Emperor.
Sure.
Which is probably obvious.
That's a pretty good band.
Yeah, but on a big stage, festival stage.
Sure, like they did back at Barkin a few years back.
Was that 2006?
Yep. And then for my next co-headliner, we're going with someone.
I haven't chosen a co-headliner.
So we're going for a very different. I guess I probably should call them a co-headliner because they're actually pretty massive, one of the biggest bands in the world. But it would then be Coldplay, which is a very un-metal choice, which stands to sign about right now. But I've seen them live a few times. Actually, I've been following them since the early days, and I actually learnt how to sing falsetto from singing along to Coldplay songs off their Parachutes album back when I was at university.
I'm sorry.
And obviously being such a massive band, they always have just enormous shows, and so I'm still quite a fan of them.
Sure.
Over to you.
I don't know if I have a co-headliner, but next on my list was going to be Arcturus.
Cool.
Arcturus. Saw them in, was it 2003 or 4 they came?
Yes.
Did you go to that show?
Yeah, it was their last ever show.
Yeah. And then they reformed.
Which they announced at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I was talking to you even after the show. I was like, hold on, it sounded like they said this was their last ever show, but they didn't announce it before the show.
Yeah.
And then
it was 2003.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool show.
Sounds great.
And then my next band, I'm going to go with Muse, but they're playing Absolution in full because
Absolution was a good album.
Because to be honest, I really loved their first 4 albums, first 4 albums, and then I haven't really liked anything in the last decade. But once again, fantastic live band. Really love a lot of their stuff, but haven't really liked anything they've done in a while. But if they were doing Absolution in full or something focused on the early stuff, that would be phenomenal.
I would watch them. Does that surprise you?
No, because I remember back in the day, in that peak era, you did like them. Yeah. And then when they kind of went off in that more kind of commercial pop era, we both lost interest. So that's actually one band we do have in common that's not metal.
Wow. Sure.
Over to you.
All right, I will say Campfire.
Sure.
Norwegian, kind of black.
Yep, I think my festivals are taking slightly different shapes.
Turn for the worst. So Campfire, because I've never seen them before in there.
Sure.
I've only seen live once, so that's Campfire. And
then we'll go with one more non-metal choice, which is Sigur Rós, who are absolutely, one of my favorite bands, have been for a very long time. An incredible live act as well. Would be great to see them at
Sigur Rós. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'd be curious.
It's very epic. It's surprisingly epic considering, you know, it's like not a metal band, but it's massive sounding. Have you seen them live?
I'm sure. I've seen clips.
Anyways, close to you.
Next one will be Torquay,
Sure.
another Norwegian black metal band. I'm sorry.
A little bit of a theme. That's what, 3 out of 4 bands
I'm
in Norwegian
creating-
black metal bands?
I'm creating my own Inferno Fest because I haven't seen them before either.
Sure, that's good. Good way to choose bands. For my next choice, it's actually a band that is playing Download in Australia, which is Deftones. And Deftones are one of the only bands that have been one of my favorite bands since I was 14, 15.
Sure.
And yet they're still, you know, in my kind of top 10 favorite bands, you know, like 20 plus years later. And always great live. You know, I saw them live maybe a couple of years ago, and it was just as good as ever. You know, Chin's voice sounds as good as ever. Like some bands, they really get old and start to suck.
Yeah.
And especially vocalists, you know, they lose it a bit, they get a bit older, but you know, they're still as good as ever, really. So
Well, I wouldn't know.
yeah,
Sure.
across to you.
Next band, Samael, band from Switzerland, kind of industrial. Well, they started off black metal, then they went industrial. Then they went black,
Yep.
then they went industrial.
Yeah, I kind of got into them a bit in their industrial middle era that came up.
Samael was one of my favourite bands. It's one of those ones as I was growing up.
My next choice is Behemoth,
Good live band.
which, you know, we played with them
Resurrection Festival.
yes, and we
Oh,
and
we've
also
played a
at
few
Florida
times,
Rock
yeah.
in June this year. And man, the amount of pyro they had for a band that is not a stadium band
It was amazing.
was amazing, and it was creative and interesting use of pyro.
Yeah, not like just normal kind of.
No, it wasn't just, you know, shooting up for whatever. But the theatrical element of that, one of the best live bands
I agree.
going around, just
I mean-
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll listen to like a few of their albums. They're not like a favourite band or anything, but I think they're one of the best live bands.
Yeah. Always, I could never get enough of seeing them live. Just that they're really different to us in that they are this overtly theatrical, like everything is, like there's all the costume changes and all this extra stuff, but
It's all fancy.
but for what they do is yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Over to you.
Next band will be Mgła from Poland. Black
Sure.
metal. Just no well, not really any theatrics. It's just 4 guys playing on stage. It's just complete atmosphere.
Yep. Now, for my next choice, I actually had Opeth down,
Ooh.
but I've actually taken them off and replaced them with another band
What would he say?
because, not because they're not great, they are great, but as much as Opeth have been one of my favourite bands for a long time, they're much better at club shows. Every time I've seen them at a club show, they're outstanding. Now, I saw them at Download UK in June, and they were actually very good.
Sure.
But just their music, the sort of music they do, is just better in a little bit more of an intimate with a roof and 1,000 people packed into a room or 2,000 people or whatever. So anyway, so I've decided to take them off because I was thinking about, you know, I kept talking about being, this band's an amazing live band, this band's an amazing live band. That's what you want for festivals. You want amazing live bands. It's not necessarily your favorite band. It's, well, for me. And so I replaced them with one of the best live metal bands on the planet, which is Meshuggah.
I've never seen them.
Just mind-blowing. You don't even have to like the music to appreciate how phenomenal they are live.
I'm sure. Well,
So-
I'm sure you told me. But I think what put me off is you showed some of me their music years ago, and it was a little too happy.
Happy.
Yeah, there was one thing. There was a really cheesy melody in it.
There's not many cheesy melodies in Meshuggah, so I must have showed you like the only one that they have or something. But yeah, so Meshuggah, amazing live band. You know, would be great addition to any festival.
Sure.
What is your next choice, my good fellow?
My next choice will be Satyricon playing material from the first 3 albums.
Sure.
So Dark Medieval Times, Shadow Throne, and Nemesis Divina.
That's an excellent choice. I also really like Rebel Extravaganza.
I do too, but
that was like, because that was like crossover.
Well, that was where
album.
that album was where they kind of changed. They went like an industrial kind of black thing.
Yeah, so I thought that album was really cool, and
That
then
was
they went
cool.
to Volcano, and I liked it, but it was a different band all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But
The
that
Black
first
Album.
3 albums, amazing. Amazing. Next artist, Devin Townsend, one of my all-time favorite artists. I've seen him live so many times, never get sick of seeing him live. Doesn't matter if it's an acoustic show or a small club or a festival, always so much fun. Always choose great set lists.
And we
Yeah,
did
amazing.
we did play a show with him once.
We did in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2015? Is that 15?
No, it was earlier. It was like maybe 2013.
I think someone actually did ask me recently about
Yeah, I think it was 2013. So quite a while ago. Next choice for you. I think we're up to choice number 8.
that. Anil Nathrak.
Harold Nathrak.
Complete organised chaos.
Sure.
Amazing. Face shredding.
Very intense. Very intense. They were playing
Brutal Assault.
Bruce before us?
Before us.
Before us, that's right. And so I remember seeing some of their set, but also having to warm up and do all that sort of stuff, which was a bit of a pain. But did see some of them.
Yeah.
I feel like we played with them another time, didn't we?
Oh no, they played I think at Damnation.
Oh, that's right. They played at Damnation. But I don't think I saw
I
them.
don't think you did. You're
I don't
probably
know why.
watching.
Maybe I was off seeing The Ocean or Monuments or Caligula's Horse. I'm trying to think of some of the bands I saw that day.
I saw some of Caligula's.
Yeah. It might have been that they were in that, because I think were they in the...
Same room as us.
They were, yeah, sure. I can't remember.
The sound was terrible though.
Now, the next choice for me is Insomnium. Now, the reason why they're on the list is because I fucking love them and I've never ever seen them. And the great thing about it being a curator of your own dream festivals, you get to choose what bands you want. And I really would love to finally see them live. Their last album, Winterskate, was one of my favorites. Their new album, I haven't really checked out that much yet, but I'm sure it'll be great as well. But I just love to get the chance. They were playing Grass Pop this year, but they were playing the day after us, so missed them there, which kind of sucked. But yeah.
Okay. My next choice would be Shape of Despair.
Sure.
Doom, for the Doom element.
I don't know
Mix it
that.
up.
I don't know that band, Shape of Despair. Where are they from? Tell me about them.
Oh, what country? They're on Season of Mist.
Sure.
Season of Mist band. Where the fuck were they from? Can't remember exactly where they're from. Is it Finland? Anyway. Complete Doom. This is my Doom element, mixing it up with a bit of black. But yeah, Complete Doom, it's amazing. Just to crush everyone's spirits towards the end.
Sure. Now, for my last choice, I realised that actually I'd left off one of my favourite bands. So I probably should include them, which is Carnival. Their album Sound Awake is definitely like top 5, top 10 albums of all time for me. And for me, like a record like that sounded like the same sort of headspace and writing style as Neo, but in a totally different genre. In the way they were putting together some of their songs and everything like that. Always phenomenal live. And a absolutely phenomenal band and live band. Number 10 for you, Mr.
Number
Zen.
10, I'll go with an Australian band now as well. And you probably guess that is Virgin Black.
Excellent. Very good band.
So they're still around, however.
Technically.
Technically, they're still around.
Well, I mean, we say technically, but they actually did put out
An album last year.
an album last year.
Was it last year or this year? I don't fucking remember.
I think it was
last year.
which
have
was
been-
the Pianissimo.
The third in the trilogy. Well, it's meant to be the first part, but
Yeah. So that, which was great,
Mm.
beautiful record. But that was the first thing that they had done in a long time. And of course, that had been recorded a long time
Yes.
earlier. It just had never been released,
yes.
which was a great shame. But yeah. So I guess we'll
Put ours up.
put the list of these bands at the bottom.
Sure.
So you can see, maybe we could combine the two festivals together. Do you think those
Well,
crowds
it
would get
have-
along?
It would actually be balanced then.
Neither of our festivals are very balanced. Need a few more extreme bands. I wouldn't mind having Immortal on there, but only if Abath was back on vocals, because it feels a bit weird to call it Immortal without him, to be honest. But I'd be happy to bring on Emperor for sure.
Sure.
Slot
Did
them
you see
in.
that he was Emperor's playing on 70,000 tons metal, and also Ishan?
I saw that Ishan got announced, I think today, on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and I saw that Emperor was.
Because Ishan, I was discussing about 70,000 tons when we were touring with him, and he gave me a cheeky wink about playing on 70,000 tons.
Sure.
So that's what it meant.
The idea, the main thing with Emperor on a cruise boat is it's got to be sometime in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Otherwise, it just doesn't work. You can't have it out in the sunshine.
No.
With the pool
Terrible.
party going on. That doesn't work. If I was them, I'd be saying, we'll play Must Be After Dark,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't be surprised if.
It has.
They're probably be one of the main headliners on
Yeah.
the thing. So I'm sure they would be sometime well after dark when
Witching
the
hour.
party is, the witching hour. But so those are our lists. If you haven't put forward one of your lists, you can comment below. You can comment on how great /
Terrible.
awesome / terrible / cringeworthy either of our lists are.
Yeah.
I think maybe there'll be some bands on your list that some of our fans won't know.
Yeah.
And there'll be some bands on my list that some of our fans won't like.
I'm sure there might be some that won't like some of mine.
Sure. But there you go. And
We only thought of this today, so
yeah, well, I guess that's a lot of fans will probably won't spend too much time on it. So we just spent a few minutes coming up with something and thinking about.
it's like saying who's your favorite top 10 albums of all time. That could vary so much.
Well, the best way to do that is you just think of all the albums that you absolutely love, but then you end up with 30, and then it's oh fuck, how do I cut this down? And that's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
And that's where even before I mentioned Soundwave by Carnival, and I was definitely top 5, top 10 albums of all time. But if I tried to actually do that list, it would be really, really hard because there's a lot of great music out there in the world. Anyways, we will sign out there and talk to you again soon.